Good morning, everyone. We are back with another episode of the TSAHoops Show. It's a beautiful Sunday, and happy Father's Day to all of y'all. It's your boy JR, and man, we got a bit to talk about. We are 4 games in, and of course, if you haven't been paying attention, we like to throw some dad jokes in the descriptions. Like none of y'all caught on. None of y'all said anything about the descriptions, man. I do all this work, I put all this hard work in just to make you guys laugh, tickle that funny bone. Yes, we are officially tied in the series for the NBA Finals. It's 2-all, and we're gonna talk about that. Last week we didn't do that because I also got to recap the havoc that was wreaked upon myself when trying to take this trip and get things ready for y'all for game 1 of the start of this whole thing for the NBA Finals, and what happened with trying to put down the action and everything that happened within Vegas. So we'll go over a couple of those details, but in the meanwhile, again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you're following us here at the Sports Affiliation. We got some great stuff here. Got some great stuff coming this week. Added some new shows like the Aces Up podcast, hosted by my boy Joe, where they talk about fantasy football and poker all at the same time. Of course, the Give Back show with my boy Rick Brusuelas. It's always awesome listening to him feature people that love to give back to their communities, love to give back in any type of way possible, and he features those. So if you want some feel good this week, don't forget also our boy JC, who's doing absolutely everything under the sun to get you guys to watch these shows. Of course, hosting his own shows like Rockstar Rips, and of course their fantasy football Monday drafter show, co-hosted sometimes by our boy Pete. So shout out to those guys out there. Again, we got a lot of content that comes your way on this channel, so we'll make sure that you guys don't miss out on anything. So again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But in the meanwhile, you are here to talk about hoops, and that's what we're gonna do. And by the way, if you guys haven't given Dad a gift yet, take it from one who knows. Give him the gift of either this show or the game today, game 5. You can gift him one of those. Just say, hey, Dad, we love you. We appreciate you and your time. And we figured that since you have some time on your hands right now, because we're going to take care of everything, we're going to go ahead and clean the gutters. We're going to go rake the yard. We're going to go mow that lawn outside for you, so that way you can just sit and enjoy your coffee. Go ahead and watch the TSAHoops Show. Or go ahead and watch that game today, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, Indiana going back to OKC, because we love you, and I love y'all too. All right, series tied 2-all, and man, mayhem hath ensued. Okay, we've already talked about game 1 in some capacity, but I feel like we need to extrapolate on that, because we thought, Oh, here we go again. Tyrese Halliburton again with the shot. And of course, the main reason why Dad in the first place is coming to join us. So let's talk about that real quick. Yes, you may have the candy.
Thank you.
Yes, but don't open it right now. It's going to be after breakfast.
Okay.
Yes. We got rules in this house, and Tyrese Halliburton has broken all of them by helping his team snatch game one.
Daddy.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
And get control of the series. Went up 1-0. Winning that first game
I sit with you.
in Oklahoma City, which was absolutely crazy to watch because, I mean, there are tons of people, tons of streamers out there, tons of pundits that watch Indiana do this exact same thing, where they come down, get the game close in the fourth quarter. The other team just looks absolutely flat, and Oklahoma City looked absolutely flat in the fourth quarter there of game one. And between a couple of poor shot decisions and bad execution, great three-point shooting down the stretch. And again, final seconds, balls in the hand, Tyrese Halliburton. Yo, what up, Joe? Welcome to the show. Happy Father's Day. And let me know if you've heard this sequence before. Oklahoma City, or whatever team that you want to insert there, misses the shot. Indiana gets the rebound. They're looking for Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton there gets it across the course of half-court line. Tyrese Halliburton looking for a shot. Pressure dribble down the right-hand side. Double dribble, hesitate. Pull-up shot. Good. For the win. Young man has 5 game winners total for this playoffs. 4, okay? Unprecedented. Those are some that's an elite number. I mean, clutch factor is absolutely heavy amongst those that talk hoop on the street. So the fact that the young man has been able to put together that many games to be able to get his team into a position to be here is absolutely an amazing feat in of itself. But of course, what would a series be without drama? And of course, we fast forward to game 2, in which Oklahoma City has never lost back-to-back games this entire season. The opposite of Tatum. The opposite of Tatum. Somehow we always find a way to poke fun of those lesser than, and of course, I mean any other team that's not in the finals right now. So Oklahoma City bounces back, and the stat is still holding true, and we'll get to that in a second. But Oklahoma City, learning how to bounce back, played to, and one of the themes of Oklahoma City, the question of Mark Daigneault is why won't he stick with 2 bigs? The whole purpose of acquiring Isaiah Hartenstein was because they the team, the organization figured out they weren't big enough in the middle. I mean, shout out to Chet and him being an NBA player, him being able to play at this level at the size that he is. But I've said it before, and again, this is not a slight to him, his overall natural body. But in comparison to the weight that happens within the middle, in the power forwards, in the box, okay, in the paint, he's a read. He is a read. He gets moved way too easily. And so Isaiah Hartenstein comes in, and he's the one that can better ultra shots, put some body on somebody, grab some more of those rebounds for Oklahoma City, and that has effectively worked in a lot of plays where they go with Oklahoma City goes with this, and they used to call it, at least is what they called it when I played in high school. They called it high-low. You have the guy that's playing the 4 position, playing the high block, and you have the guy that's going to play in the center, be a little bit more mobile and play on the low block. The guy in the high block gets ball on the key, floats it over, and it's sort of like a Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson combo, a la San Antonio Spurs, where you get a lot of lobs from Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, or vice versa, and sometimes that action gets lost as far as its effectiveness in the overall success of Oklahoma City, because it worked tremendously to the tune of the Thunder essentially beating the brakes off of Indiana. And I think what happened, what up, JC? I think what happened was a lot of people got caught up in the fact that Oklahoma City is so good. They had such a high scoring margin that people believed, oh, here we go. This is the team that we thought that we'd see. The series is over. And we are far from it, because the series shifted back to Indiana game 3, and then we start to see the emergence of, and this is what I love about the finals. Okay, outside of all the type of play, the physicality, we talked about the rule changes, talk about all that stuff that we love. How many of y'all out there knew about TJ McConnell? Raise your hand. You're lying. You're lying, okay? There are a few people that scouted out outside of Pacers fans, maybe Chicago fans that have to play them, maybe Bucks fans, okay? People in that division. Was that Central? I believe, something like that. Gotta know who TJ McConnell was. Oh, you want to talk about hustle player of the year? The thing I love about the finals is there's always one dude that comes from one of the two teams that starts to make plays that shakes you to your core. It says this guy may not score a lot, but he's affecting the game heavy. And just pure basketball love, okay? Got shots of his father in the stands. Now, if you're a social media troll, you're sitting there talking about the success of, like, the presence of his sister. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever, also present at some of these home games, which is great. Great for viewability. But, I mean, the Pacers haven't been back to the playoffs since the year 2000. Pascal Siakam, first scorer for the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals since the year 2000. It's 2000 or 2001, but one of those teams. I think that was a Mark Jackson team or something like that. Man, it's been a while, okay, since Kobe and Shaq were present, throwing lobs, dunking on people, hitting big shots. Indiana Pacers decided to go ahead and say, you guys may not have lost back-to-back games, but just still lost. And between TJ, Benedict Mathurin, I don't think we talk enough about the team in general. Holy mackerel, this team bounces back. Game 3 in Indiana, all-stars present, including Reggie Miller, who's been highly present at these home games for Indiana. Pacers come back, and the game was 116-107. But I can tell you right now, the game was it was a little bit closer than it throughout the first 3 quarters. But the way that Indiana was executing versus the way that Oklahoma City was executing, the game should have been well more out of hand. So Indiana was sort of fortunate that they got away with a 9-point win, but you could see it in OKC. They were lethargic. They were jogging, getting back on defense. They were porous in the paint. A lot of defensive mental lapses, breakdowns. It took a lot of chopping at the tree, and chopping at the tree. Basically, what happens is there's a continued sequence of trying to slow the clock down, foul calls, turnovers, get to the free throw line, extend possessions, things like that. That's what Oklahoma City did to try to shorten up and close the gap in this game. And they almost had it closer to about 5 minutes down the stretch. But again, Indiana took away that one. And then we had the not my words, okay? Not my words. We had the equalizing game with the equalizer, ref Scott Foster. And as such, there was this interesting parade of free throws and sequences. A flagrant foul called on Obi Toppin on a play where he commits a hard foul on Alex Caruso. And I think that we had a comment talking about what should be a flagrant foul. And with the amount of physicality that's been allowed and the breath that players have been given, I don't think that game should have been called a flagrant one. But hey, we're here now. Oklahoma City, game 4 ties up the series, and we're going back to Oklahoma City. Yep. And the reason why I wear the hat is now here. So let chaos ensue. Thank you, JC. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Got it.
Good job.
We're putting.
Yeah, I think, you know what? Let's just take a minute before we get to game 5. And let's address all the fathers out there. Shout out to my pops. Also named Rick. I know a lot of Ricks, surprisingly. He's actually Ricky. But who knows? Maybe we'll get him on the show one day. Talk some hoop. I'm sure he's excited to watch his game today. And also, yeah, if you guys don't get a chance, if you guys get a chance to call your dads, wish him happy Father's Day. Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Very good. I like that. That's what I like to hear. All right. Back for the can you kiss? Can you kiss? All right, more blue. Go. I love being a dad, dude. Actually, funny thing about this show, you know, if we can get this going for long enough, that's going to be my co-host. So, you start them early, you raise them right, and then you put them on, and then you let them continue the garden that you started. Game 5 in Oklahoma City. So we're tied 2-2. I like to use the word tie because that's the common gift that dads used to get in their little gift packs for Father's Day gifts. When's the last time you seen your dad wear a tie? Actually, just about every other time I see my dad, he's wearing a tie. Solid ties, either blue or red. Um, so a couple of big things to throw at y'all. Series so far has been crazy. Oklahoma City's leading the scoring pace at 113 points over Indiana is at just right behind them at 109.5. I think what that says about the series is that any game can be the game winner. Um, the disparity of the scores doesn't necessarily have the tail of the tape in them, except for game 2. I think game 2 was the only game where you saw Oklahoma City do what they're supposed to do end to end. But other than that, every game has been a shocker. Plays have been absolutely crazy. The smallest guy on the court sometimes are getting the rebounds that are being recorded for some of these stats. Rebound game is 41.8 to 40. It is not that far apart. Okay. Assist game, Indiana is sharing the heck out of the ball, but that's the normal way that they play. Rick Carlisle has got these guys playing. The assist average, or the assist average for Oklahoma City, 16.3. Not sharing the ball as much. And you can see that in the stat of when you see guys like Jay Williams, Jalen Williams, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who are trying to distribute the ball to guys like Chet, trying to get other guys open and started early. But one big thing that we've been scoring on and that we've been cashing in on are the amount of buckets or the amount of 2-point shots that a guy like Jalen Williams has from the jump, from the outset. So SGA is a guy that's not looking for his shot early. Halliburton is not a guy that's been looking for a shot early, but Pascal Siakam has. And it's interesting how the success of each team is dictated by who starts the scoring pace early. SGA starts getting aggressive early. You see a lot of their shooters go cold. If a guy like Chet gets going early, yo, what up, Iggy? Happy Father's Day to you and your fam as well. You're probably out there on the slopes or doing something right now, man. Talking game 5 right now. Oklahoma City's starting point starts and ends with SGA. As much as it is important just to score. All right, appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that stat. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Happy Father's Day. What up? Happy Father's Day, everyone. I as much as I love Williams being able to be a big scoring factor, and he's necessary. With him, Chet, and SGA going combining for 60-70%, I believe, of OKC's points, it's absolutely imperative that they get going and get going early. But even distributing of the ball seems to be the key to success here. And the way that Indiana has been passing the ball and getting other guys open and allowing other guys all the way down to the 9th and 10th man to be able to score, I think that Oklahoma City should look to start distributing the ball a little bit more, be a little bit more open, because they seem to force a lot of things down into the paint. It works very, very little, to the point where Indiana has been able to sort of sit back in the paint sometimes and conserve their energy to be able to play more lockdown, better lockdown defense going down the stretch in the third or fourth quarters. Oh, that's fun. I like to put that up there. Yeah, man. 195 game 4, put 100 on KC in the third quarter. that which is essentially where OKC started to take over for this game because again, game 4, you see the score. Uh, Oklahoma City 111, Indiana 104, but this game was in Indiana's hand. We were effectively about to go back to Oklahoma City, OKC down 3-1, and it took SGA had about 19-20 by that point and then went off. They essentially took over the game and was the reason why Oklahoma City won their game. Iggy's got a stat here. You want to put this out here. Hold on. It says Halliburton, 708 minutes, 48 to 59 free throws. SGA, 42 minutes, 159 to 183. Just complete styles, but both leaders. Yeah. I think down 8 when you put the bet in. That's actually fun. All right, so let's get both of those in a second because these things are a little bit important as far as tell the tape. One of the big overall themes is the ability, a leadership. For some reason, the armchair quarterback view of what leadership looks like as far as basketball is concerned has to be leading scorer, has to run the offense, and has to have a huge positive impact in the flow of the offense. Like, oh, X is the reason why Y is so successful for this team. And I say that because I preface that with ball in hand. So, you got Tyrese Halliburton with that time on the court, right? 48 to 59 free throws. It's a completely different style from SGA, who's averaging more minutes because he's on the court longer, but way more free throws because his style and always having at least one defender on his hip. And of course, then the whole we talk about free throws and everything like that. Also, you talk about who's the leader of the team, but Halliburton is clearly the leader of the team because the way that he gets defenses to be manipulated by initiating passes, by getting other guys open, by allowing other guys to be able to sleep on the baseline and come from the dunker spot. And slip behind defenses and score and the style of play of the Indiana game. We mentioned the assist average 24 for Indiana. Their style of play is pass, then shoot. 3 passes minimum. I love it. And it's been driving defenses crazy. It's been getting bigger guys tired. You see Chet not being able to go on the court for longer stretches. You see high foul rates for guys like Isaiah Hartenstein who need to be on the court because Chet can't stay out there. So you have Mark Dagnall who has to go to smaller lineups, thus allowing Indiana to get physical in the third and fourth quarter. I mean, it's a domino effect. This is chess being played, and if you see one thing happen, you see everything else happen behind it. But it starts for Indiana with Halliburton. On the other side, SGA and his time on the court. Again, I was talking about Williams getting going. SGA always has to get going from the jump, and the way that he starts to get that call, especially with the non-call on the push off, it's not apparent, it's not open hand, so they're allowing that because they say, okay, if we're allowing the defender to get into SGA's hip and we're not calling that foul, we're not calling that body on body contact, and everyone's staying straight up, then what we're also going to say is, oh, SGA is pushing off to the point where he's creating separation to push him back, not you forward. So we're going to not call that either. It's interesting, but if he gets that and they allow that to get that going, then the success of Oklahoma City skyrockets. Okay? So how those two get going is super important. He threw another stat in here that says Pacers play 22-95 playoffs, 6-0 in 20-point 10 assist games. That's interesting. 8-0 in games when he scores 21. Oh. And that's the other thing. We talk about leadership, we talk about scoring ability, but the way that Tyrese Halliburton scores, he scores in volumes, And I mentioned this a couple of shows ago, where what he'll do is he'll get going as far as having multiple 3-point shots, almost to like sort of like Caitlin Clark light. Okay. Get to the nastiness of that sequence against the Liberty yesterday in a few, but Tyrese Halliburton doesn't attack the paint often. When he does, he's a floater, a couple crossovers, not as shifty as SGA, but uses his body a little bit more, uses a little bit more of his length to create floaters and jump shots mid range. He's got a mid range too, a really decent one, in order to score. But again, this team is much more about distribution and evenness in scoring than it is about the singularity of trying to create position points at the point. So Tyrese Halliburton is not a guy that's going to score a lot. And so if you're betting on him to effectively do 25, 30, that's a losing bet. But teams are very successful when he starts to get into that 19, 20, 21 range. And the stat right there that Iggy that we have posted up from Iggy makes it absolutely apparent. Yeah, when he gets going, especially when his 3-point shot is going, I think that's the deadliest thing about Tyrese Halliburton. Not the fact that he can hit a clutch shot, but the fact that at any given point he can pull up on you and be successful from the 3-point line. I think that is a bigger thing in and of itself, because now when you have guys trying to protect the paint and thinking that, oh, he just clog it with some of our smaller guys and slow him down there, he just goes around the screen. You give him 2-3 feet of space and he just pulls up on you, because that's the shot that he's looking for. He's looking for wide open three. So, hey, and appreciate you, Iggy, for throwing up those stats. Antonio, going back to that bet, I think it's absolutely crazy, because again, the Thunder were down 3 at the half. They were down, effectively like 8 when you put that bet in. So, shout out to you for believing in the power of Vegas evening out things, because I'm sure a few people poured some money on Indiana to win that quarter. But we also talked about how effective you got to be down a stretch. And this is probably an outlier. So you came up on that one. Speaking of Vegas, let's talk about let's talk about some player props real quick. Let's see, today, again, games in OKC. And series tied 2-2. Scoring average a little bit higher on OKC. And right now, average overall is about 212, 213. Scoring total right now for the line at -110, 224.5. I like the under for that one. I'm gonna play that one. The spread, I don't know who cooks these books. This is absolutely insane. The spread is 9.5. Okay. The spread is 9.5 again. I think this number is gonna haunt me for the rest of the summer, because every game's been 9.5. Except for game 3, I think. 9.5, 9.5, 9.5. And I think is the most ridiculous. I don't know who's cooking the books out there, but we have Indiana Pacers at +9.5, -115. I love betting the plus points on that, because 9.5 is just 10 points is just an insane number. Quinn. Hi, Quinn. Indiana Pacers money line +300. So yeah, that's right. You get 3 times your bet. Oklahoma City has not lost back-to-back games, but their ability to win back-to-back, I think, is yet to be proven here in the finals. They've played a lot of teams and had to win back-to-back games.
Nope.
for these playoffs, but have they done it in the finals yet? No. And for some reason, I have this inkling that that Indiana has essentially their game one win has started a cascading effect. And now these teams are just going to trade back and forth until game 7. Iggy says hi.
Hi. Hi.
Appreciate you, bro. And so I don't know. Game 5 doesn't seem too far of a stretch to be able to put some money down for Indiana Pacers money line. But if I want to bet with my mind, I want to say that Oklahoma City might have figured out that they do need to use those two bigs. They do need to get SGA up in the 40-point range. Much success when SGA is at 38 and above. So effectively for this game, I go OKC money line. I'd still bet that plus 9.5 though. I just think that there's too many points to be giving up, and it's just been too chaotic. The games have been a little bit too close as far as basketball stuff is concerned, and the spread. The last 2 games have shown that every point counts, and we're getting closer to the nitty gritty. So just put it down right now. Straight bet. Oklahoma City money line plus 9.5 Pacers, and we'll post this under the link for the show if you follow us on X. We'll put the stats there in the chat in a second. Total, again, I'm saying that's going to be a much lower scoring game. It's game 5, so things are going to be a little bit more tight. 224.5 minus 110. We're going to go ahead and put that in right now as well. Players. Guys, I don't know what you guys are planning to do out there as far as 3-point shooting is concerned, but I'm hoping that Tyrese Halliburton gets it. Let's see what the 3-point shot is for Halliburton. 3-pointers made. This is so interesting. His line has been at 2.5 for the past 3 games. And he's effectively scored what I think it's 4, 1, 4, 0, and 1. I think going backwards. So game 4, 0, and 2. Well, let's check that real quick. Hey.
You put this. Yes.
Yeah, let's see. Game 3. Yeah, game 3, 9 for 17. Okay, never mind. 4 for 8 from 3. So I think this, if you guys are looking to see, if you're going with Indiana for winning the game, the success of Tyrese Halliburton is gonna be the difference. So 4 on game 3, game 4. One for 7. So 4, 1, and then 4. And the guy likes to shoot. He's put up 15.
Daddy, hold me.
Sorry. 3, 4, 3, 4, and 1. So 4 in game 4. 3 in game 3, and then 1 in game 3. I think I'm getting this backwards. I don't know which game is this. That was game 2. 3 in game 2.
Help me.
One in game 1. You having fun? and 4 last game. Again, Devin loves to shoot the ball. I just don't. The inconsistency of Tyrese Halliburton's 3-point shot, I think, is more predicated on the fatigue that he has and them trying to force stuff on certain stretches. But the shot's there, so at least in the attempts, depending on the line that you get. Let's see here. 3-pointers made. Don't have a line of 3 points attempted, but 3-pointers made. 2.5 has been the line for Tyrese Halliburton. I'm going to take the over in this game. Let's make it an outlier game. Let's go ahead and put that down. No player has been getting triple doubles, so stay away from that line if you can. Turnovers. How about turnovers have been the tail of the tape for all series? Like the ball's getting loose. Yeah, Pascal Siakam with what? 4 steals to start out the game? Absolutely crazy. So primary ball handlers turning over the ball. You can go with the guy like Chet Holmgren if you want. The ball doesn't go through his hands a lot, so I wouldn't put that on him. Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5 is minus 160. Under 2.5 is plus 110. I think it just depends on the number of touches that he gets back in the sequence. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the over on that. Steals. Again, Pascal Siakam went off last game, so him getting that many steals, I think, is going to be a rarity, but I believe he'll try to go for it. But I'm going to put it on a guy like Andrew Nembhard. It says over, under 1.5. Let's go with the under. I think he'll get a steal, but not 2. It's going to be a tighter game. Might be a slower game. And but overall, the defense is going to be sound. One thing we haven't been talking about is the blocking deterrability of the bigs, guys like Miles Turner, guy who I mentioned as a stat in our Wednesday show a couple weeks ago. He definitely has the ability to alter shots to make you think about, effectively going inside the paint. So let's see if we can get. See, blocks line, Miles Turner over under 1.5.
Help me.
1 second, guys.
My dog's actually in my tummy.
Let the madness ensue. Miles Turner, over 1.5 blocks, minus 165, under 1.5 blocks, plus 115. He does too much in the paint defensively to not think that it's going to be an under, so I'm going to go ahead with the over on that one. And then one last thing, let's see here, because we talked about the positive stats of points as far as Williams or SGA or Halliburton are concerned. Halliburton over 17.5, under 17.5. 17.5 is Tyrese Halliburton's line. Over is minus 115. The under is minus 130. This could be a game where Rick Carlisle tells Halliburton, you need to go out there and score. So I like him at that line at the over. The one person that I haven't liked this entire series in the line that they've been getting is SGA. Because you never know if he's going to be able to get to that line and OKC have success. SGA, 34.5. He's been averaging something like 36 points for his line. So like 34.5, 34.5, 33.5, and then like 30, 35.5 or some stupid like that. It's been so high. So I like to bet the under on that one, and I've hit it 3 out of 4 times. So for points, minus 120, 34.5. Over is also minus 120 at 34.5. So 6 and 1/2 dozen. We'll post up these tickets again under the show that we're building, that we're putting together for you guys, for you bettors out there. And then again, today it's highly possible that Indiana takes this game, just for how the series has been shifting back and forth. Oklahoma City has yet to show the consistency in execution and style of play, which are super important because of several things. If they decide to play with 2 bigs in there, those 2 bigs have to be usable down the stretch. Again, availability is the best ability, and so far these guys have not been able to show it. I think the success of this overall team has to have SGA be successful through the second and third quarter. He can't just continue to come alive in the fourth. I know that the energy has been spoiled on the youth for this series, and it's a young team versus a young team, and a lot of things have been happening throughout the late third and late fourth. But just for smart basketball, there has to be a way for players to be effective through the second and third quarters, and for that volume to just increase, because no lead is safe and nothing ever makes sense past like the 8:30 mark of the third quarter. So in order to try to solidify that win, it has to look more like game 2. I just don't think that OKC has the consistency enough to win this game, but we'll see. So my money's going on Indiana. You guys let me know who you guys end up putting in the chat. Shout us out. Tag us at the Sports Affiliation on X. Tag myself at 4F Apollo on X. Put it in the comments under the videos. We love to go back and watch and see what you guys did. We love when success breeds more success. Well, other than that, that's what I got for the NBA and for Game 5 for today. Again, still sitting on that Indiana overall winner. Hold on. Breaking news. The Orlando Magic have just finished a trade. They're acquiring Desmond Bane, big boy, to the Orlando Magic for KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round draft pick, and 1 first-round pick swap per Shams. So hopefully you guys all got the and that's big, because what Orlando has been effectively looking for is a guy that can play defense. It's a little bit bigger and can shoot the 3 consistently. With Desmond Bane being absolutely, this is nuts, because Desmond Bane was imperative for Memphis. So the fact that you have a guy being able to now do what they wanted for KCP and get Cole Anthony out there who has not been consistent in the lineup for Orlando over the season, hasn't been able to stay as healthy, and has dealt with a couple of ankle injuries as well. Now you get Desmond Bane, who gets to go to a team that Orlando has been to the playoffs multiple times under Jamal Mosley. So what this does, hopefully, is make them more effective in the Atlantic Division and much more of a threat to be able to represent themselves for as a better position for the playoffs. So, and plus, this team has lacked volume scoring on the 3-point line. Desmond Bane is going to be able to provide that with the stocky as his arms are. Arms as big as my head. Hold on, my co-host is asking to rejoin the show. Give me 1 second.
What are you doing? Come on.
You good? We're good.
Come on.
Well, I'll come in a second. Unfortunately, the show's almost over. So that's a crazy bit of news. So it looks like
Daddy, come on.
things are going down already. It's family time, y'all. On the other side, WNBA, Caitlin Clark had her first game back and went off, scoring 30 some odd billion points, half of them from Never Neverland. If you watch the sequence versus the New York Liberty, Indiana Fever,
Dad, Dad.
hand New York Liberty their first loss of the season. That's right. A lot of great stuff and headlines for the game. 108, 88, 105, 103, 88, I believe was the final score for the WNBA game. Indiana Fever hand New York Liberty their first loss. Not a lot from Sabrina Ionescu, not a lot. Brianna Stewart poured in a dub, but the story of that game, Caitlin Clark is back, y'all, and the effect is real. There's a sequence that you guys need to watch where she has a back to back 3-point shots. And I love watching chaos happen in real time. That's why I watch sports, y'all. Because she's just like, what's about to happen next? It's a continued, like, that's how I feel being a dad, man. And just continue watching this. That's one of the big stories of today. And Nature Calls. We'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Go get to the bat. I'm loving today's episode, guys. I think if you're a dad out there and you like to do stuff on the side too, hobbies or whatever, you can understand the kind of herding cat effect that doing the thing and being a dad at the same time can happen, and I love it. In fact, some of you that are watching may already know this because I told the story a little bit, but just to kind of wrap the show up, I mentioned on Sunday that I was going to be in Vegas for Game 1, and maybe get some stuff out for Game 2. But we're going to give you the experience, sports book, all that stuff for Game 1. And I'm tying this all in together because I think the great part about what was able to slow me down starting into this trip was the fact that, I had the day off, starting with the flight out, which was Thursday. That was the day of Game 1. That was June 5th. It was starting out the day, waking up, not completely packed, knowing that I have my daughter with me and have to do dad duties and, make sure that she's good. And I'm doing activities with her. We're kind of running around, go jump on the trampoline.
I must stay with you.
And in the middle of like hanging out with my daughter and getting ready to head out, because the airport isn't as close as it was when we were in San Diego. So the time to be able to leave and all the stuff involved is a little bit different. So I needed about an hour and a half, 2 hours, earlier departure time. And in the middle of what was seemingly normal day and getting ready for this trip, I get updates from my airline about cancellations and changes and leaving departure times. And so what kind of starts out as a normal departure turns into the scene from Home Alone, the first one. Everyone's scrambling. I gotta go check in with multiple people. I'm making phone calls left and right. And I mention that because the dad aspect of it in me goes, I got to make sure that the kid's right first before I actually go anywhere. Because I don't know if you can hear it now, but she's been kind of fighting something, and we've been having to, balance dealing with all of the stuff that we've been wanting to do and get through. And the best part about it is being a dad has had no effect on the trip itself, because Quinn has slowed me down enough to where I had to double check my bags and make sure that I had everything. I almost left my phone, okay, and it was the thought about, oh man, leaving this little girl behind at home while I'm going off to Vegas for a couple of days, what made me stop and realize, oh, I can't call her right now. I got to go back and get my phone. So that was probably like one of those fun, beautiful moments of like, aha, yeah, still a dad as I'm going on this trip. Now, the chaos that ensued thereafter, as far as the trip is concerned, led to us not being able to land on time or early enough to make those game one bets that we had promised you. And that's why you got no action in game one. Because all the things that we said that we were going to do, all the things that we went over on that Wednesday night show, how many of those things happened? Just about all of them. The spread by Indiana, the game one win by Indiana taking over the series, all that stuff. All that happened, and we could not provide any of that to you guys, so apologies. On behalf of Southwest Airlines, we apologize. Now, with that being said, we got to go get ready to go make pancakes, wrapping up the show. Again, game 5. There's more stuff that's happening in the WNBA, guys. You're going to see some stuff about Angel Reese out there, her claiming the Me Balance thing, possibly trademarking that and adding to her already $1 million, close to $1 billion empire. The woman's going to be so successful financially that it's going to make a lot of people absolutely sick. Now everyone's got an L on the board, so it's open. It's wide open season for anyone. Still trying to figure out what's going on with Asia Wilson and her being in the concussion protocol. The success of the Las Vegas Aces, or lack thereof. There's a story out there that you guys need to follow. The Seattle Storm continue to impress. They are continuing on their pace from last season, and the Minnesota Lynx are going back to their winning ways. And the success of Nafisa Collier and how she's on a warpath to get that MVP that she thought that she so rightfully deserved from last season. That is another story that's out there. So you guys need to make sure that you tap in, tune into us, every Sunday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll give that to you as best as we can. Lay down the lines, lay down the tape. We're going to go get some pancakes, but before we go, there's a couple of things. Shout out to all of you that attended the No Kings rallies and protests yesterday. Extremely proud of all of you coming together as a nation, as a people. We deserve better. We deserve more in our leadership, and we understand that we know what the nation voted for, but the results have a lot of people flabbergasted. Have a lot of people taken aback. Apologies. Have a lot of people absolutely saddened at this point. I mean, kids are being ripped out of the hands of families by the utilization of ICE agents. Families are being separated. It's been an absolute travesty. And while I've been unable to attend said meetings and protests, I stand with y'all. It's absolutely unnecessary for us to go through this. As a nation, we're better as a nation. We're better as a people. This is not who we are. And what we're doing is absolutely insane. So keep up the fight. Keep verbalizing it. Keep making it known that we're not going to stand for this. Enough is enough. We're drawing the line. Okay. Proud of all of you, and don't mean to clog your day with politics, but it's absolutely important to all of us as Americans, as people, that we come together as a family, as a unit, because there's no sports without the people in it. Sports have immigrants too. So just throwing that out there. You like to be entertained, but you got to make sure that there's people to do it, because you can't do it. It's going to take us. It's going to take us as a people, as a nation, and that. And I want you guys to enjoy your Father's Day. I'm gonna try and maybe I'll go bowling or something like that. We'll recap that next week. But love, peace, and chicken grease to all y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy that game 5. Don't forget to lay those lines. See y'all later. Peace.